What's going on, comic book fans? Welcome back to the Comic Hall. As always, I'm your host, Scott. Today, we're going to be talking about the new Captain America Civil War trailer just released a few days ago, and it was pretty amazing compared to the other two. So the very first thing we see in this trailer is a video that General Ross has prepared. He's showing Captain America and some of the other Avengers a lot of the collateral damage that they've caused over the past few years. The first one being the events of the Chitauri invasion, the first Avengers film that we saw. The second one would be the collapse of S.H.I.E.L.D. that we saw in Captain America the Winter Soldier. And the third and final one would be the events of Sokovia whenever Ultron tried to destroy the world. And in this part, once it shows Sokovia, you see that Scarlet Witch is a little distressed. Right after that, we see an attack on the UN conference that the Black Panther T'Challa is attending. It's possible this attack may have been from crossbones and may have been framed on Bucky. Why later on in the trailer you actually see that the Black Panther is actually hunting Bucky down. He kind of has a little grudge against him. We don't really know why, but I'm assuming this is it. Then we see Tony Stark talking about how he thinks the Avengers should be put in check. And shortly after that we see a super prison that is built and is laid up underneath the ocean. And in the comics, if you read the comics, you'll know that the prison was actually built in space for all the rogue Avengers after they capture them. Then we see a scene we've seen before in previous trailers where we see Bucky riding the motorcycle under a tunnel, and we see Black Panther pursuing him. This time we get a little more detail onto it. We see Black Panther jump onto a car and lunge after Bucky and slice the tire of the motorcycle, causing him to fall. Another important scene that we see in the trailer, we see War Machine as he's flying, and we see some type of beam shoot, and it shoots his arc reactor out of his chest, and he ends up falling, hopefully not to his death, but that's what it seems to appear like. And Tony Stark looks honestly pretty pissed as he's just seen his best friend fall. Another scene we see Captain America telling Iron Man, you know, this doesn't have to end in a fight. And then he looks over at him, and he looks honestly kind of teary-eyed. So this must be shortly after War Machine got shot down, and he backhands Captain America, knocking him several feet away. Then he goes on to tell Cap that he just started a war. Then, of course, again we see Bucky and the Black Panther fighting each other again. This time they're on top of a roof. And we see the helicopter, which we're assuming is the same scene we saw before where Captain America was holding onto the helicopter. There's probably a little bit earlier in the scene. And the helicopter is shooting at them, but we don't know if they're shooting at Bucky or the Black Panther. But we do know that since the Black Panther suit's made of vibranium, it is obviously bulletproof, as you can see. Another important scene we see in the trailer, we see the Scarlet Witch attacking the Vision. We don't know why. From the looks of it, if you look down by Scarlet Witch's feet, you can see what appears to be Hawkeye. So we either think one of two things: either the Vision attacked Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch is defending him, so she's attacking Vision, or a lot of people think that Scarlet Witch is possibly losing control of her powers and she's just attacking all the Avengers. But it's kind of funny because if you remember from the Age of Ultron, we see this little scene.
More powerful than any of us, maybe all of us. An android designed by a robot.
Clearly that is not the case. The Vision is not the most powerful being. As you can see, he's being taken down. One thing we see in the trailer that's honestly straight out of the comic books, we see Hawkeye pulling back an arrow, and he shoots it, and inside the arrow, we see Ant-Man pop out, and he's jumping on Iron Man's armor. Then we finally get our first look at Crossbones in the trailer. Then we see where Captain America is fighting Iron Man, and he's actually putting a pretty good beatdown on him, since it's just him by himself. If you remember from the comics, if you read them, before this even happens, the Vision helps Captain America disable Iron Man's suit. One thing that was pointed out in this scene, if you haven't already seen it already, in the background, if you'll have to pause and look at it, right behind Captain America's head, you can see Bucky laying down on the ground, and it appears that his metal arm is gone. Only thing we can assume from this is that Iron Man somehow ripped it off, which is why Steve is on a rampage and he's attacking Iron Man as fierce as he is. Then we get our last little look. We see the Avengers running towards each other in the final little battle. And if you look at it, you actually see Black Panther is pretty quick. Then we get the one thing that everybody's been waiting to see the entire time. We get our first look at Spider-Man in his brand new suit in Civil War. A lot of people are really butthurt about the suit. They think it looks too CGI. But I think his suit looks fantastic. It looks almost straight out of the comics. But I think his suit is a cross variation between the original and the Iron Spider. Because if you watch this scene and you listen very closely, whenever his eyes move, it almost sounds mechanical.
Hey everyone.
Almost as if Tony Stark built him a mechanical suit, which he does. but it doesn't look like the Iron Spider, so I think it's a cross variation between the two. If you've read the comic book, you'll know at the end of the comic, after the war is over, Captain America ultimately surrenders, allowing himself to be arrested and ending the war, which also ends to his assassination by Crossbones. Hopefully we won't see that in the movie. One final thing I'll discuss about the movie is I think the scene we see in the trailer with the super prison that was built, I think that's possibly either one, the end of the movie, or two, the end credit scene. Reason why, whenever it shows this scene, Tony Stark is there and his arm is in a sling, which means the war is more than likely already over. So one, he's either there because they're going to plan on doing a continuation of Civil War, which would be pretty amazing, or two, he's sulking in his really bad decision of trying to have the government rule the Avengers. And of course, the last and final person we still have not seen in this trailer yet is our big bad Baron Zemo. We don't really know how big of a role he's going to have, but we do know that he's in the movie. That's pretty much all there is to discuss about this trailer. If you like this video, click subscribe, comment below what you thought of the video or what else you want to see me do. Check out my other videos that I've done. I'm sure the closer it gets to the movies, the more things that we'll see, such as TV spots and possibly even some more movie scenes. See you next time on the channel.